So started off the training with some backflip, pow. And I think I'm gonna keep tomorrow to be kind of a light day to focus on recovery, because today I did feel fatigued near the end of it. So all the skills, I was doing them, but none of these skills particularly felt good or were particularly all that good. But I think there is some value in just going through the motions. I was doing a lot of skills today. I was doing flares, handstands, backflips. So training every day. Training is both physical and mental, and you should not neglect the mental training to reach a higher intelligence. The dictionary says that intelligence is facts and skills that you use to do something. And beside the most useful skill, generally, I think, is critical thinking. So I guess I'll challenge you to ask yourself a question. What is critical thinking? If you're not already, heavily into mental training, cognitive training, I'll give you a little tidbit. But if you are, feel free just to ignore this part. What is critical thinking? And set yourself a goal, because goals are very important. A ship will get nowhere without a captain guiding it. If it doesn't know where it's going, it might not go anywhere. So here's what I'm talking about. I did the flares, but they were not particularly all that beautiful. And just near the middle of the day, I was feeling a little bit tired. But my shoulder mobility is increasing a little bit. I did a little test just to see how far I could put both hands behind my back. And it's getting better. It's getting better. So that's good. I'm not really sure how the shoulder timeline will be, because it does seem to be progressing faster than I would expect, with flexibility taking about 6 months to see adaptations. So I'm still seeing progress, so I don't really know how that's going to work. So this right here, this push-up here is a chest stretch to open up the chest and open up the shoulders. Normally I do it with my butt off the ground, but just like the half lay position was pretty good for just receiving the stretch. So with training every day, and a very important thing to manage is fatigue. So I'm trying my best not to get too fatigued. I was a little bit fatigued. It's okay to push it to failure, but with my particular goals and style, I'm just not going to try to reach failure, and just always try to stay pretty fresh. And just reach, fatigue when failure when it really becomes pleasurable, or when I feel like I really need to do it. So here are the baby deers. They are growing up day by day. So eventually you're going to see them be a bunch of full-grown deers. So you'll see it's like my little neighbor pet. I don't know what I should call them, but here training calves, lower legs, focusing on just the bottom stretch part, as the most recent science says that the bottom stretch is the most important, better than full range of motion for hypertrophy or muscle growth. So still doing it, focusing on the lowering part, the eccentric, which is most important for muscle growth and strength building, and then an explosive way up. Later I'll finish it off with just a body weight superset. The weight is feeling good, so I'll stick with it. I feel like I might be able to increase the weight, but I'm actually slightly running out of weights to increase. So I'm a little bit of at a stalemate how I should increase it. I want to try to stack something else to get more range of motion, like get a higher platform, but that seems a little bit more difficult. So I'll try to find some weights to put on there. or maybe I should do a one leg version, but one leg with, like a super amount of weight is, yeah, I hit my head there. Oof. But here, dips, try to reach the fullest range of motion as you can. Unless your mobility is really good, you probably won't be able to get as deep as me here. So just do as deep as you can with good form and get a good stretch. I've really enjoyed the dips. I used to do them, but I never really found a benefit over planche push-ups. But when I get that deep stretch, I'm really starting to feel why. It reminds me kind of like doing ring push-ups, Bulgarian ring push-ups. And the pull-ups here were just kind of an afterthought. Not really put too much effort into it, just kind of like a dessert to my workout. Here I just try to work some handstand balance. This just kind of emphasizes my point that all my skills were I was doing them all, like they were completed, but they weren't completed perfectly or very beautifully. So, if you made it this far and you like this kind of training, consider subscribing, but make sure you like, comment, and share the video if you know anyone who would like this. So remember, train every day, physically, mentally, all that is good. Have good goals, physical goals for training, goals for mental training, and I'll have more training for you tomorrow. Bye-bye.